On the heels of protest by traders in the southeast against the transfer of 47 Boko Haram prisoners to Equilobia prisons, the Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has assured citizens that he is in constant discussions with relevant authorities and is hopeful of a positive outcome. Speaking to journalists at the Governor's Lodge in Awka, the state capital, Governor Obiano appealed for calm and appealed to the traders to put a hold on their protests. Last week, Anambra State was rattled with the news of Boko Haram prisoners being transferred to Equilobia prisons in the Agwata local government area of the state. It elicited condemnation from all quarters of the state, including leaders of religious, legal and human rights institutions who appealed for a reversal of action, considering its security, economic and emotional implications.
First is to reassure the Anambra that I'm on top of the situation. I've been dialoguing with all the relevant authorities in this matter, and I have good reassurance that it will be redressed soonest. I encourage them not to do any demonstrations. I'm on top of this situation. They should be reassured. I'm in touch with all the relevant authorities on this matter, and I'm convinced that very soon this situation will be resolved.
In the meantime, the President is appealing to the international community to unite and forge a stronger worldwide consensus for more effective action against global terrorism. President Muhammadu Buhari made his appeal in a condolence message to the government and people of Egypt on the recent murder by terrorists of the country's Attorney General, Hashim Barakat, and the killing of about 70 Egyptian soldiers in the Sinai Peninsula. President Buhari says that he is convinced that concerted global action is needed to overcome terrorism in all parts of the world. The President adds that having borne the pain of terrorist attacks themselves for many years, Nigerians share the anguish of Egyptians as they mourn their compatriots who lost their lives in Cairo and the Sinai Peninsula. Now the activities of the Boko Haram sect continue to transcend the shores of Nigeria. Going by the story from Chad, security forces in Nigeria's neighbor have seized a large weapons cache, including guns, rockets and ammunition in the house and the capital in Jamina, occupied by suspected members of the sect. The weapons, buried under the courtyard of the house in the eastern neighborhood of Guinabo, are reported to have been destined for northern Nigeria, where Boko Haram has launched a wave of attacks in recent weeks, despite suffering heavy military defeats this year. A Chadian investigator who asked not to be identified says that these were weapons that Boko Haram's logistics chief for northern Cameroon and Chad, Mr. Bana Fenaye, was preparing to send to Nigeria. Chad has played a leading role in a regional offensive against the armed group this year, in parallel with forces from Nigeria, Cameroon and Niger. More on the news at 10, business news.
First Bank. You first.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshewa Josh. One of Nigeria's foremost economic research and investment firms, Financial Derivatives Company, has predicted a further increase to 9.1% of the headline inflation figure for the month of June, with expected impact on investors and the financial markets. In an economic blueprint released today, analysts at the FDC say if the forecast of about 0.2% increase in June inflation happens, it will be the highest rate of inflation recorded in Nigeria since May 2013. Africa's largest economy recorded a 9% inflation level in May, showing a continuous uptrend in several months, especially since the fourth quarter of 2014. The report from Financial Derivatives therefore forecast an upward review of the policy interest rate from the current 12% when the Central Bank Rate Setting Committee meets later this month. The Federal Inland Revenue Service says a total of 1.8 trillion naira in taxes was collected into the Federation account in the first 6 months of 2015. The acting head of the Revenue Agency, Sunday Odugbeson, says the sum of 697 billion naira was raised from petroleum profit tax, a total of 778 billion naira from company tax, while value-added tax brought in 376 billion naira during the period. The FIRS boss says, however, that his agency is expecting an estimated 15 billion naira import value-added tax from the Customs Service, while targeting a total of 1.4 trillion naira annual tax revenue from the oil and gas sector. The data released on Thursday shows the highest tax revenue generation in January and February, but down sharply in the month of March. Investors continue to rake gains of stocks at the Nigeria equities market, leading to a third consecutive close in the red this week as the market begins a new quarter with a lackluster trading. Well, Crystal Cole has the figures.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Markets Report. Nigeria's equities market recorded its third loss at the beginning of a new quarter, down 0.61%, bringing the all-share index to close at 32,538.34 points. Dangote Cement is on top of the losers table with a share price drop of 2 naira 50 kobo. WAPCO is next, scoring a 2 naira share price cut. Nigeria Breweries shed a naira and 5 kobo. 7-Up shares bounced back with a 7 naira price gain to nullify its previous 3 naira loss. Nestle is next on the gainers table, up 4 naira. UACN scored a naira and 99 kobo gain. The banks have yet to let go of the volumes table. UBA sold 18 million shares, Zenith Bank traded 15 million, while FBN Holdings sold 14 million units. By the close of session, 138 million shares had been exchanged for 1.5 billion naira in 2,796 deals. And that's the Stock Markets Report. I am Christy Cole.
Thank you, Christy. Now, European markets took a hit this week due largely to the Greece financial troubles with the International Monetary Fund and the European Central Bank. On Sunday, a referendum is planned for Greeks to decide whether they wish to remain within the single economic and currency union or not. As Europe and the rest of the world wait for the Greeks to decide, Hurit Bat over Deutsche Welle at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange gives a sneak preview into how the markets may likely open next Monday. Well, that'll be all on Business News tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
First Bank. You first.
We apologize for loss of audio on that film report. Next on the news at 10, top seeds Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova survive upset scare to reach Wimbledon Championship 4th round. That's on sports. Stay with us.